Hello video peeps. Today I would like to show you my Mossberg 22 Magnum. It is a Mossberg Chuckster. I have no idea how old this is because apparently up until 1968 they didn't have to have serial numbers on the barrels of the guns, and that's the case with this one. What it does say on the barrel is DF Mossberg and Sons Inc., New Haven, Connecticut, USA, Chuckster, model 640 KA, 22 Magnum, WMR. I also spent hours and hours and hours on the internet trying to find anything I could on this gun, which was a gift to me from my son. And one site said that they were made between 1960 and 1968. Now this particular gun, when I got it, was in bad shape. The wood was pitted, and it had some kind of a rubbery substance that had eaten the finish off and was embedded in the wood. So I went online and saw how to finish guns, and I bought a kit off of Amazon to strip the wood, and there were several different sandpapers all the way down to superfine, and I sanded, I stripped the wood, I took all the parts off, I worked on the stock itself for probably a week, sanding it until I had as many of the imperfections out of it as I could, and then I spent another week rubbing oil into it to bring it up to what it looks like today, which is nice, pretty, shiny wood. The scope that's on here now is not the original scope. The original scope is this. It was a little Weaver scope. It's nice, but the problem with the Weaver scope, the rail that comes with it and the way it's set up on the gun itself, you almost had to put your face right into the scope to be able to see what you're shooting at, which was not good at all. So I ended up removing the Weaver scope, and I got this scope online. I don't know what it was. It's a nice scope. It's certainly not something I would brag about. It was only about $30. And the thing about that that's kind of interesting is it has a see-through cover, and when you take it off, the lens is actually blue. But then this cap here, when you put it back on, it has a yellow-orange tint to it. So you could shoot right through with this on because you can still see. But back to the gun. Took it all apart, cleaned up all the work, oiled everything. Not that I know how to do guns like that, I just know how to take things apart and put them back together again. It's like I told my son, if you take something apart and put it back together and you have leftover pieces, you did it wrong. So it works. I've taken it to the range, shot it. It is very accurate. I put the sling on it. The swivels, I attached those because they didn't have it. The clip, it has a clip, a 5-round clip. They're kind of unique looking little clips. And thankfully I have 2 of them because from what I read on the internet, they're difficult to find. And the other thing I had to do with it, apparently the plastic for the trigger guard, the original plastic, after, I guess, I don't know, 30, 40 years, the plastic sort of shrinks. And in this case, it did. And as it shrunk, it sort of pulled out of its setting and was kind of hanging there. And my son thought that he should push on it to put it back where it belonged, and he snapped it in half. So I spent about a week on the internet, and I found a place that claimed to sell Chuckster parts. And I think I paid about $30 for this new trigger guard. And because the wood is dried out from age, the actual recessed fitting is also smaller than it used to be. So I had to actually Dremel tool the trigger guard just a little bit to get it to fit back in there. But just a little bit at a time, and I got it in there, fits perfectly. Hopefully it will last for quite some time to come because my grandson has promised this gun, as well as my Remington. That's a new gun. It's a 5.97. He also gets that one. But this one is really special to me because of its age. I just like the look of it. It just an older gun. And like I said, I don't know exactly how old it is. If we were going to guess that it was made in 1968, that puts it at 46 years old. And of course, if it was made in the early 60s, well, obviously it's over 50. So, which is me too, same type of situation. Things in their 50s are still good. In fact, sometimes better than the newer models. So, what I learned about this gun is that there's not a lot to find out about it on the internet. It's a very simple gun, not a lot of complicated parts. It has the bolt action. And as I said, it's a 22 Magnum. The difference being from a 22 long rifle, obviously, it is a longer cartridge. Makes a lot louder noise. I've only shot it a few times. 22 Magnum are incredibly hard to find. In fact, as everybody talks about trying to find 22 long rifle, 22 Magnum are even harder to find. I probably have a couple hundred of them altogether. So when I take this out, I only shoot maybe 20, 30 rounds at a time. And I'm still on the look for more 22 Magnums. But I really like this gun. Like I said, I had to exchange the scope because the way it's set up, it was originally the eyepiece, you would have had to put your face right into it. But now, it's perfect for shooting with this other, even though it's not an expensive scope, but it still works. So there you have it. This is a Mossberg Chuckster 22 Magnum. Awesome gun. I've seen them advertised for 125 all the way to 200 on the internet. Every now and then I'll see a gun auction and they'll have one in there. I don't know that they're in good a shape as mine. But then again, I redid this myself. And I don't know how good you can see it with my cheesy camera. But I spent a lot of time working on this to get this finish. And of course, thank goodness everything was in good shape metal-wise. And like I said, just to fix that trigger guard. All in all, it was a labor of love. And I'm really pleased with the results. And like I said, my grandson gets her when I go to that big hunting ground in the sky. So I got it in good shape now. When he gets it, I hope he'll take good care of it and maybe someday pass it on to his son. So there you have it, Mossberg 640 KA Chuckster. Thanks for watching.